Okay, I like to give all the praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Wakaha Kwadash. Double honor to the elders of Great Millstone who taught us this truth. A sincere Shalom, Labakarium, Shah Yash'Allah, that's peace to the elect of the nation of Israel, which consists of you so-called Negroes, Haitians, West Indians, Puerto Ricans, the Spanish tribes, Native Indians scattered throughout North, Central, South America. We make up the 12 tribes of Israel. And a lot of people are wondering right now, I'm hearing a lot of chattering, what's going on with the world? What's going on? What's going on? You know what's happening? The kingdom is on its way. The kingdom of heaven is coming in. And when you're building a kingdom, it's noisy. It's noisy. And it looks like a lot of confusion. And this is the noise that you read about in Ezekiel 37. Ezekiel was told to prophesy to the wind. And that noise started to wake up those bones that was in the valley. And when you go into the Hebrew to that word and go deep into the etymology of that word noise, it goes into instruments, which you use for a song. So the new song is being sung and it's making a noise and it's waking up the Lord's elect, and it's also casting down this current kingdom. So as the men of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shah prophesy, this kingdom falls, this current kingdom, which is Esau's rulership, in the kingdom of heaven starts to come into fruition. This is Ezekiel 37, verse 11. Then he said unto me, Son of man, these bones are the whole house of Israel. Behold, they say, our bones are dry and our hope is lost. At one time it was. You know? In this land, in this city, where we were not called the children of God, there we shall be called the children of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shah. So the curse of Babylon came upon us. We suffered our punishment, double, you know? Now, the punishment is over. The great awakening is happening right here in front of our enemy face. And the Lord's elect is now standing on their feet with the full breath. So it says, then he said unto me, Son of man, these bones are the whole house of Israel. Behold, they say, our bones are dry and our hope is lost. And we are cut off for, we are cut off for our parts. And that's the other nations, the elites. I tell you in Revelations 11, they gave gifts one to another. They suffered not our dead corpses to be put into the grave, which represents a memorial, or what you do with a dead body, you store it away and you mark it. They didn't do that. So they thought we was going to be down forever. But not knowing that in these last days, in this city, meaning in Babylon the Great, the Lord was going to raise up his prophets in Babylon, and they will blow the trumpet, and that trumpet will awake those dry bones, and inside those dry bones is the elect. Therefore prophesy and say unto them, thus saith Yahweh, behold, O my people, I will open your graves. Now that dead state we were walking in, now the Lord has woke us up. Now you got Israelites all over the world, camps all over the world. Some just have the sinews, the bones, the hair, and some of them are walking with the breath. That's the Holy Spirit. And this is what's scaring the top elites that you read about in Isaiah 13, 1 and 2. It tell you, shake the hand, that they go unto the gates of the nobles. The nobles are the higher rank, the super elites. They're nervous because once this happened, now you need a kingdom for these people. The elect doesn't wake up, receive the breath of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah, and then you remain in this upside down kingdom, this backwards, no moral having world. No. Now that the children of the kingdom awoke, what do you think comes next? The physical kingdom now. It says, therefore prophesy and say unto them, thus saith the Lord, behold, O my people, I will open your graves and cause you to come out of your graves. Now the men of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah standing on their feet, they no longer calling themselves African American, Haitian, Jamaican, Puerto Rican, Cuban. Now we accept that we're the children of Israel. We accept the name Yahweh. We accept the name Yahweh Shah. We accept that this life is a lie. Everything you told us is a lie. We accept that this current kingdom is not our kingdom. We accept the truth, the 100% truth, the bitter and the sweet. So now we about these graves. It says, and bring you into your own land, the land of Israel. Now that's about to happen. This is the kingdom coming in. Everybody wanted to know what's riots, wars, World War III. We at the end of the world. Yes, we are at the end of an age. We at the end of Esau's rulership, as well as the rest of you heathen. And we at the beginning stages of Yahweh Shah's rulership and the children of Israel ruling the kingdom forever and ever. And you shall know that I am Yahweh when I have opened your graves, O my people, and brought you up out of your graves, and shall put my spirit in you. And that's the elect. The elect is just not woke. Now they have the Holy Spirit with them, which is bringing all things to their remembrance, which gives them the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven. Because there's mysteries, there's deep, dark secrets that come along with the kingdom of heaven. And what's a king without servants? So if it's a kingdom, there will be people under the ruling class, the 144,000 under Yahushua. Those men, that government right there will be the top echelons, right? The grand deal of the kingdom to come. And it's coming. And it says, and shall put my spirit in you, and you shall live. The Lord didn't wake his elect up, all these Israelites running around Babylon, just to put everybody back to sleep and things go back to normal. No. Once this happened, once the people of the kingdom wake up, that's it. That's why the elites are so afraid, because the people of the kingdom is running around planet Earth right now, and they're woke, and they're woke with the breath. And you shall put my shall put my spirit in you, and you shall live, and I shall place you in your own land. That's the kingdom of heaven. This is not our land. This is not our rest. Micah 2:10. Once the men of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah get the breath, you look around, you know this is not your rest. You can't live under this wicked system. Now what's next? Now the Lord got to tear down this current kingdom and bring in the kingdom of heaven. It says, and I shall place you in your own land, which is the kingdom. Then shall you know that I, Yahweh, have spoken it and performed it, saith Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah. And what's the performance? The second covenant, the birthright, the blessings, everything that come along with the promises. When you go over here to everything is about to come to the elect of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah at this time. This is a very exciting time. The kingdom is on its way. This is Romans 9 verse 4. Right? Salakia, 1 second. It's my woman. Hello? Let me call you right back, because I'm finishing up this video. Yeah, I'll call you back. All right. And Salakia about that. This is Romans 9 verse 4. I'm going to start from verse 3. For I could wish myself were accursed from Yahushua for my brother and my kinsman. This is Paul speaking. Paul saying if he can take on what Yahushua did, he could for his brethren, his kinsmen, according to the flesh, who are Israelites. Israelites, the 12 tribes of Israel. We're about to rule. We're about to rule. It says, to whom pertaineth the adoptions. This is everything that comes with our rulership. That's coming into play. And it's coming in strong. The kingdom of heaven comes in on the tail end of the destruction of Babylon the Great. The kingdom of heaven comes in. It says, who are Israelites, to whom pertaineth the adoptions, right? And the glory, and the covenants, and the giving of the law, and the service of Yahweh, and the promises, whose are the fathers, and of whom, as concerning the flesh, came, Yahushua came, who is over all, Yahweh blessed forever. Amen. And this is the blessing that we stand on. We get everything. We about to get everything. We about to get everything. So with knowing that we about to get everything, knowing the kingdom is coming in, now you got to be focused. Because there's a lot of things taking place in Babylon. And Esau is about to come out with his deception. He about to come to deception, and people about to start flipping these animals. They about the heathen, the 2/3 of our people, they're animals. They about to go crazy. The Lord is about to shut the lights down. With knowing that the kingdom is coming in, it's about to be rough. There's so much going on. Now we got to be even more focused. No, we got to tighten up. This is the time to tighten up. Let thy light shine. Tighten up. You know, let me get this here. This is Matthew's. Let's see here. The two foundations. This is Matthew 7, verse 24. Therefore, whosoever heareth these sayings of mine and doeth them, I will liken him unto a wise man. So now we got to walk like men of wisdom. Men that's built up in this truth right now, because it's going down. Time is short. Time is short. The kingdom is on its way. Repent ye, for the kingdom is at hand. And time is short. It's just a matter of time before everything hit ahead. All hell is breaking loose. Won't be no coming outside sitting like this, making a video. Ain't gonna be no more going to the plantation, waking up, punching the clock. No, it's gonna be too dangerous to walk the street. They're gonna track down these videos. They're gonna shut down the ministry off these YouTubes. Whatever you have is what you have. And you better have the foundation. You need to be rooted in Yahushua right now. See, the people that's rooted in Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, they make it. Because we got to make it through the straight gate. We got to make it to the end. You can't stop midway in this thing. You know, things are moving so fast. How dare you turn your back on Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua right now? But that happens once Satan draws the doubt in your mind. So that's all part of Esau's deception too, drawing the doubt. Because when the famine of the word come in, a lot of brothers not going to be as active, like going to camp and things like that. And that'll be a time for Satan to come in with the doubt. Come in with the doubt. See, you know, we feel good when you're doing the videos, and you know, it's a good feeling that come over you because you know that you're working. But see, it comes a time when you know that that work we're gonna get haven't been lost with Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. He haven't forgotten about you. He haven't forgotten about all the work our apostles put in for 40 years. You know, our bishops of Connecticut, you know, our elders, they putting in 30, 40, 20 years. You know, for us to receive this word right now, for us to be built up right now, man. You got a lot of people that's coming into this truth at the last hour. And that's because of the good tree that we under, Great Millstone. We learn it from, we eating from that good tree. So that tree has been planted, it's been rooted. The Lord ain't going to toss you away right now. So this is the time of great faith. We're going to have to use that weapon, use that faith. Use that weapon, man. That's the most powerful substance in planet Earth right now. So it says, therefore, whoso heareth these sayings of mine and doeth them, I will liken him unto a wise man, which build his house on a rock. And that rock is Yahushua. So we building our house, our foundation on this rock. And once you do that, you got to keep your eyes single. Now you got to be focused. You got to hold steady now. That knowledge and wisdom should be the stability of that time. But we here. We right where we supposed to be. The Lord has given us the mysteries, the secrets. Everything is in order. We doing what we supposed to do. That's the thing. We're doing what we supposed to do. Now you got to hold on. You got to know that Yahweh Bahashem Yahushua will keep the promise. The Lord said, I'm not a man that I shall lie. Yeah, it's about to get real crazy. The kingdom's coming in, and those that kept my word, that endured patience. The Lord said in Revelation 3:10, he's going to help us through this. He's going to help us through the hour of temptation. Yes, the Lord going to do that. The Lord going to feed us when these stores are closed. Yes, the Lord going to do that. We're going to drink water, back problems and, swollen feet. The Lord going to fix all that. That's what we about to go into, Acts 2.0. The miracles about to take place now. The ministry is about to stop. The blowing that trumpet. Now the action is about to start. Physical miracles that the Lord is about to show off right now. Because the kingdom of heaven is at hand. The kingdom of heaven is a show off in itself. You read about how the kingdom is going to be built. That's Yahweh Bahashem Yahushua showing off. So leading up to the kingdom, he going to make men famous. Everywhere where we was discredited, the Lord going to bring us fame. He going to put 7 women to 1 man. Men going to be walking around with certain power to run at top speed. To walk through walls, to disappear. Tell you in Isaiah 59:19, the Lord going to set up a standard. Certain men about to get ability of these animals out here, man. Certain men going to be able to leap, fly. The Lord about to show out. That's why I tell you in 2nd Ezra 16, then shall be known who are my chosen. The Lord always had he has a history of pointing out his elect, his men that he's rolling with in the time of trouble. Okay? So the Lord likened those that's holding on to this word unto wise men, which build his house upon a rock. And the rain descend. Yeah, the rain, the flood, Esau. The enemy coming in like a flood. The proud waters, man, they coming. They setting it up. You see these Gestapos, these, mercenaries. Shit, I was coming home from camp last night, and I hit the Ak up, because, ICE was right down the street from my house. It was 2 U-Haul trucks, and I ain't going front. Them jokers was all blacked out. It was 30, 40 of them. They opened the back truck. They hopped. I think they was doing an operation around there. I ain't stay around too long. I'm just at the light looking like, oh shit. They down the street from where I'm at. So, because there's a lot of migrants, around the corner that be in the park or whatever. So they setting up something, but yeah, they were out last night. So yeah, they're coming, this destruction, right? It's coming to a theater near you. It ain't gonna be so nice on your block. Yeah, you're gonna have to lock your doors and get on your knees and beg Yahweh Bahashem Yahushua for mercy and for protection real soon. That's why you got to make sure this foundation is sure, because the kingdom is coming in. We focusing on the kingdom. We keeping our eyes on the prize right now. The prize is immortality. That's the prize, making it out of here. We got to go through this path to get into the kingdom. So we got to go through this. But the prize, right, is immortality, standing before our Lord Yahushua, making it up into that ship, man. So this is why everything is losing here in Babylon. People going crazy. We looking past this. Knowledge and wisdom should be the stability of our time. They going to be bugging out over losing cars, mortgages. I can't get into the store. I'm thirsty. This is going to be the end of life-ending things for these people. While we looking to immortality, man. They know nothing about immortality. They have no clue about the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven, about what Yahushua has promised us, man. So if the Lord put that in your heart, consider yourself blessed, because that only comes from the heavens. The average person, they can't fathom immortality. That's just a movie to them. But to us, this is the reality. The kingdom is an everlasting kingdom. So if the kingdom is everlasting, the rulers of the kingdom are everlasting too. We don't die anymore. We understand this clearly. So we have a foundation. We have something way sturdier than all this here. It fades away. We ain't focusing on this temporal stuff. Not at this time. This is exciting because the Lord is keeping his word, man. So it says, and the rains descended and the floods came, and the winds blew and beat upon the house, and it fell not. So you're going to stay on your feet. You're going to make it through Jacob's trouble. Yeah. You're going to defeat the mark of the beast. You're going to keep that faith. The Lord going to seal up them angels. You're going to walk through this fire, man, because it is written. It is written for the elect to make it. And those that may get caught and thrown into the concentration camp, oh, that's good too. Because the Lord said, if you die, your works follow you. You go into the ship first. And you know the Lord going to put a courageous spirit on anybody who gets grabbed up by these forces out here, man. See, you don't want to be in the path of the elect in that day, especially when the Lord make them angry. Because it's going to be righteous anger. It's not going to just be some feminine emotion and, you know, you crying. No, it's going to be a righteous anger. They going to power up. And whoever in their way, what the Lord tell you, you are my weapons of war and my battle axes. With you, I will break kings and princes and chariots. The Lord about to use these elect men, man. So we are in a time where the Lord is about to show off. That's why he said, he said, listen, it's my great pleasure to give you the kingdom. Do you know that it's time for me to show off? Because wickedness been ruling. These people are so proud of what they're doing. You know, people walking around with black nails, all black pocketbooks, black shoes, skeletons all on their t-shirts. You can't even shop for your kid. Everything got a skeleton with a crown on it. You know, this whole world is darkness. So darkness been ruling. So they feel good about the dark, but they ain't seen the light. They ain't seen the light. The light is stronger than the dark. It destroys the dark. And the Lord going to show off in that light, man. So it says, and everyone that heareth these sayings of mine and doeth them not, walking past the camps, they see the videos, they scarfing, you know, they turning from it, they falling out the faith. You know, they had the oil, they lost it. They waiting until the last minute. You know, Jake, he gonna wait till the last minute, man. As soon as the bombs come, I'm gonna get down and say, Yahweh. You know, no, there is a such thing in this truth called too late, because the time is ticking on grace. So it says, and everyone that heareth these sayings of mine and doeth them not shall be likened unto a foolish man. You don't want to be them foolish virgins. You got 5 and 5, which represent power. So there's going to be a power of foolish versions, and it's going to be a power of wise versions. The foolish wait to the last minute. The last minute. You know, the groom is here. Yahushua is here. You wait to the last minute to look for oil? Are you serious? And that's the so-called black race, so-called Hispanic race, so-called Indian race. You always dragging your damn feet. This truth is for you, and here you go dragging your feet. You gonna wait till the white man say we the Israelites, and all of a sudden, you know we the Israelites? Man, it's too late for that. We way past breaking down the Israelites in Deuteronomy 28:68, man. We way past that. Breaking down the 12-tribe chart. Man, if you ain't got that by now, it's too late for you. Even the last minute Akim that's coming in, they getting this with a quick understanding. They on to the prophecies, man. They finding out they Israelites, the Lord got them believing, they believe in the chart, and they moving on. Because these prophecies and his testimony is where it's at, man. We're not going back and forth over your skin being black and, you know, who's white. Look, man, the ministry went to the next level. And now we about to hit the next level when the teaching is over. Now it's time for who the Lord gonna put the spirit on. The Lord said, I'm putting the spirit on you, put the spirit on you. I'm not putting the spirit on you. You ain't on the right foundation. You over there calling me Yahuwah. You ain't on the right foundation. You over here calling me Yahshua. At a time like this, you go from Yahweh to Yah. At a time like this, so you jumped off the foundation. You over here in Islam. This guy went back to Christianity. Look, y'all are in some trouble, man. Those that took their hand off and the Lord ain't have mercy to bring you back. I feel sorry for you, man. I mean, if those brothers that know what's about to happen to you, we all feel sorry, man. This is the time to beg Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah for that mercy. Like David said, please do not take away thy Holy Spirit from me. Please. So, once again, it says, and everyone that heareth these sayings of mine and doeth them not shall be likened unto a foolish man which built his house upon the sand. And the rain descended, and the floods came, and the winds blew and beat upon that house, and it fell. These people going to find out. Jacob's trouble going to collapse a lot of people. The Lord going to put that scary heart, that panic, that anxiety. Ain't nothing like being overwhelmed with anxiety. You know, some people get so overwhelmed, they lose their breath. They go into cardiac arrest. The Lord going to make sure you fall. You know, you're going to be scared to leave your job. Oh, they chipping everybody. It's really happening. But, you know, how we going to eat? You know, what we going to do? It's going to be a lot of that. What we going to do? They don't know. The kingdom is coming in. They still trying to hold on to this kingdom. And the Lord going to do that to you. And you're going to run down there. You're going to take that damn device, man. You're going to take that device because great is your fall. You're not standing on your house shot. You chose something else. You chose Christianity. You chose this world. So because you chose this world, you got to go with this world. And this world is about to be chipped up, man. Because the Lord say that this world is for many, but the world of comings for few. What's that? That's 2nd Ezra, the 8th chapter. I think 8 and 1 and 2. You know, only a few. That's called the remnant. The elect make it to the kingdom, man. So we don't expect millions upon millions and tens of millions to get this type of understanding. You know, this understanding is only for the elect, because when you understand something, it becomes your trade. This is what you do. So you make money off what you understand. You know, this is your career. So we understand this. So this is what we do. You know, you go, we make spiritual money off this understanding. We put in the work because we understand it. The Lord ain't giving out this understanding to everybody. They tell you that he revealeth his mysteries unto the servants, his prophet. So those mysteries are not revealed to everybody. So the Lord said, you're going to fall. Whatever you're dealing with right now, and you ain't hearing the voice of Yahweh Shah supping with you, you're going to fall real soon. And it says, and great was the fall of it. And it's going to be a great fall. It's going to be a noticeable fall too. There's going to be a lot of men at the last minute, they're going to stop what they're doing. They're going to take their hand off the plow, and they're going to go to Daddy E for protection. And it's going to be a great fall. This is this is Daniel 2, verse 44. And in the days of these kings shall the power of heaven set up a kingdom. So that's what's happening. We're in the days of these kings. The 10 toes, this is the statue that Daniel saw. So we at the end of the statue. We at the toes of the statue. And the elites know this. You know, you go to Google and punch in the statue. They tell you who's on the statue. And at the end of the statue, which is representing history in a 4 major empires. And at the end of the statue was the EU and NATO. They even telling you that now. So if we at the end of the statue, EU and NATO and America's a part of NATO, and America's the biggest force on planet Earth, what do you think America stands in the midst of this? They stand at the toes of the statue. So we at the end. There's nothing else. There's no other rulership but Yahweh Shah after this statue falls. And it says, and in the days of those kings shall the power of heaven set up a kingdom. So a kingdom is being established, and that's why this understanding is in the earth, which shall never be destroyed. And the kingdom shall not be left to other people, but it shall break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms, and it shall stand forever. That's all the kingdoms of the world that's ruling. All of them. China, Russia, Japan, North Korea, South Korea, Canada, the US of A, Brazil. I mean, any list that you got. You know, the Lord is going to do that by wiping out the militaries, and that's what this fire is for. Yeah, the kingdom of heaven comes on the hills of these fires, and it said it shall consume these kingdoms, and that's this truth. This truth has consumed this internet. This truth has consumed you Christians. This truth has consumed you Muslims. This truth have confounded and consumed you atheists, you agnostics. This truth have did its job. This truth, that's why everybody's talking about the Israelites, whether they got the 100% truth or not. This truth, this knowledge of this book of the kingdom of heaven has consumed these kingdoms. Now it's physically about to do the job. That's what's going on in the world. Why is everything so shaky? Why is everybody building bunkers? Why is there earthquakes? Why is it 50 degrees right now in the middle of January? Why? Because the kingdom of heaven is coming in. And this is how it looks. And this is a beautiful day. So that's why you keep the faith. And this is for the men of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. You're doing the work. You know, we're going to put them tripods away forever real soon. You know, close these cameras up. And we're going to sit back and we're going to watch the Lord work. The Lord about to power up his men. But the Lord ain't going to forget about that work you've been putting in. It says, this is Hebrews 6. Verse 10, it says, for Yahweh is not unrighteous to forget about your work and labor of love. You know, when you understand something, you work it. So we understand this truth, so we work it. And the Lord ain't forget about that. All the years, the apostles been out there, in season, out of season. You know, they started off with a head full of black hair, they fully gray. You think the Lord has forgotten our apostles, a great millstone? You think the Lord forgot, you know, the bishops of Connecticut, they came in right directly up under Apostle Tahar. They've been out there struggling, fighting the elements, getting the experience, you know, going through the trials and tribulations. They got gray hairs. You think Yahweh Bashem Yahushua has forgotten about those bishops? You think the Lord has forgotten about you elders that came in 2007? You know, the internet era, as our apostle called it. That was the great awakening when it hit this internet. This beautiful how the Lord broke this up in sections too. You know, so the great awakening. You think the Lord has forgot about the sacrifice that you elders are put in, man? That's why the Lord said you give double honors to the elders, especially those that's laboring, man. And everybody's still laboring. The apostles, the bishops, the elders, the young brothers like us that came in. You know? This is a family affair, man. So when the Lord shut this internet down, which I got to feel it's going to be soon, and it's time to pack away these tripods forever, and now we're going to watch this power develop in our physical hands, man, it's going to be, whew, the Lord, he about to show you, I ain't forget about you. What? You think I forgot about you? You doubled your penny, man. You came back, you flipped it. You flipped your 10 talents. You flipped your 5 talents. But then that's that one man with that talent, he done put it in his back pocket. Now he gonna be looking for the power, he looking for the help. It ain't gonna be nothing there for him. He gonna have to go take that device, man. So it says, for Yahweh is not unrighteous to forget your work and labor of love, which you have shown towards its name, protecting the name. Everybody else giving up on the name. The men of Great Millstone, they protect the name. They stayed in the name. They stayed faithful to the names. You learned Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. I learned Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. We learned not just the name, the essence and the spirit that comes with the name, the respect of the name from our apostles, man. A Great Millstone. That's where we learned that from. They stayed faithful to the name. Now the spirit of it, right? The true worshipers, they about to feel the full effects, man. You about to feel the full effects. Payoff day. It's time to get paid, man. That's what all this is leading to the kingdom. The Lord about to start giving out tickets, man. You get this, you getting that, you getting that, you getting that. You've been faithful, you getting this. Brothers gonna open them, you know, you get your paycheck, you bust that sucker open. At least back in the day, we had the paper paychecks where you had to open it up. Now they just direct deposit. But you look, you see how much you got paid. You making sure the hours are right. You looking like, woo, I did some overtime. You know what I'm saying? You feeling good because you put the work in, you got paid for it. Now the Lord about to bust open these spiritual bank accounts, man. All the work that brother's been doing, rain, sleet, snow, 100-degree days, all this about to pay off because the kingdom is coming. And there's going to be men rich with faith, rich with works going into this kingdom, man. So it says, Yahweh is not unrighteous to forget your work and labor of love, which you have showed towards his name, and that you have ministered to the saints, which are the nation of Israel, Psalms 148, right? But right now, the true saints are the elect, the Israel of God. The elect, starting with the 144,000, starting with Yahushua, who's the first elect. He's the first elected, the begotten son. And then the 144,000 and the 1/3 after them. They're the ones that's going to make it out of this. Those that's written in the Lamb Book of Life. So the men that the prophets that's out there on the corners, been out there strong, steady through weathering that storm, you know, Lord ain't forget about what you've been doing, man, with these videos and these long nights studying these lessons, you know. Shit, man, I came into this truth, man. This internet became everything to me. Became everything to me. Because this truth was free. It was free on the internet. Sit down and brothers been lighting it up. You've been doing your job. So don't give up now. You know, that devil gonna try to play that trickery. Nah. The elect make it out of here. The kingdom is coming, man. Say goodbye to this damn place, man. Say goodbye to this place. That's why we throw curses, Shlak Rayam. We throw curses up on this place, man. Because it's done. So we preparing for a new heavens and new earth. It says, and that you have ministered to the saints and do minister, meaning you're active. The men of Yahweh Shem Yahushua is overactive right now. Because it's time. It's time, and you can see it clearly. Let me, I'm gonna have to go in a minute. Let me just end off here. In Hebrews 10, verse 19, it says, let us draw near and hold fast. That's the title. It says, having therefore, brethren, boldness to enter into the holiness by the blood of Yahushua, by a new and living way, which he hath consecrated for us through the veil, that is to say, his flesh. And everything is happening because of the crucifixion, because what Yahushua did 2,000 years ago. He released us from the curse of Adam. He released us from the curse of the law. He took it all upon him. He healed what he's done as Adam. That's why he's called the second Adam. So we no longer are subject to the flesh. We don't owe the flesh nothing, so we walk in the spirit. And we can thank Yahushua for everything. It says, and having a high priest over the house of Yahweh, let us draw near with a true heart and full assurance of faith, having our hearts sprinkled from an evil conscience and our bodies washed with pure water, which is the word. That's not baptizing yourself in the ocean. You know, the word baptizes you. What's that? I think it's Ephesians 5:26. You know, the word does that, but you got to let the word get in you. Hebrews 4:12, the word is like a double-edged sword, piercing to the soul, man. But so you got to let the word, get in you. Okay? It says, let us hold fast the profession of our faith without wavering. For he that is faithful that promised. And let us consider one another to provoke unto love and to good works, not forsaking the assembling of ourselves together as the manner of some is, but exhorting one another. And this assembling together, those are the same mind. So the hopeful elect is all in the same spirit at this time. And we assemble under this internet. You know, some brothers we'll never see until we get into that ship. Yahweh Ratazah, I make it. So, but we don't fret. You know, you got to see, brothers, you know, we feel you. You see, the thing about the hopeful elect, we're fillers. We can feel the energy. You know what I'm saying? You can hear it in the voice. You know, it's a very spiritual thing. But we'll all be assembled real soon in that shit, man. It says, and so much the more as you see the day approaching, which we do. So the Lord's elect is turning up, man. If we sin willfully after that we have received the knowledge of the truth, there remaineth no more sacrifice for sins. This is whoever turned away from the Yahushua, the foundation. But a certain fearful looking for the judgment and fiery indignation, which shall devour the adversary. He that despises Moses' law died without mercy under 2 or 3 witnesses, right? Of how much sore punishment suppose you shall he be through worthy who have trodden under the foot the Son of Man, which is Yahushua, and have counted the blood of the covenant wherewith he was sacrificed, an unholy thing, and have done despite to the spirit of grace. And some people, that's what they're doing. They're wasting this grace spirit. They're doing despite, they come into the truth, they turn away. Some people just walk past the camps. They don't want to hear the message. They act like this knowledge is worthless. And this is the treasures. We got the treasures. So you just basically wasted your grace time. It says, for we know him that he said, vengeance belongeth unto me. I will recompense, saith Yahweh. And again, Yahweh shall judge his people. It is a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living power, and people about to see that. Because what's happening is the indignation of the Lord is coming upon Babylon the Great and the rest of the kingdoms. So the Lord is handing out punishment. As he's handing out blessings and tickets to get into the kingdom, he's also handing out punishment slips, man. And it's going to be gruesome punishments, horror that you've never seen before that's about to take place. But call to remembrance the former days in which, after you were illuminated, ye endured a great fight of afflictions, partly while you were made a gazing stock, both by reproach and afflictions, and partly while you became companies of them which were so used. And this was, Paul dropping it at this time to them 2,000 years ago. Now that same sentiment is shared with us. When you first come to this truth, you hot. You hot, you going through it. You don't care who talking about you. You growing your beard in, you're happy to be an Israelite. That's the sweet. Then it start to get bitter. Then you start to resent this truth. You start to let that doubt creep in a time like this. In a time like this is not the time to doubt. All you got to do is turn on your television. Everything is out of order right now. Everything just went haywire. So this is the time to hold on to that faith you first had in the beginning, now more than ever. It says, for you had compassion of me in my bounds, and took joyful the spoiling of your goods, knowing in yourselves that you have in heaven a better and an enduring substance. Of course, they were sharing with Paul. They was being they was working out their election. Then some men started to get weak, and that's going to happen now. Brothers in the spirit, they sharing, they giving, and shalom, and this persecution going to start to heat up. Then he's like, okay, how much can you stand now? Can you withstand the rain? Are you standing on the foundation? Can you keep that same faith that you had when the lights were on, when everything was going good? So this is the time we got to stay focused, because the kingdom is coming in, but we got to go do this. And we got to keep that faith. We got to keep it the way we received it in the beginning. We got to keep it to the end. So it says, cast not away, therefore, your confidence, which have great recompense of reward. For you have need of patience, that after you have done the will of Yahweh, you might receive the promises. The Lord is not going to forget about those who labored. So when these cameras shut off and you can't go to camp no more, we sitting there, we wait. The power is right in the room with us, man. Soon as the action start, the Lord going to work quick for his men. It says, for yet a little while, and he that shall come will come. That's a promise. And will not tarry. Now the just shall live by faith. The most powerful substance on planet Earth are the faithful ones. But if any man draw back, but if you stop in the middle, you stop your sacrifice midway, it says, my soul shall have no pleasure in him. But we are not of them who draw back unto perdition, but of them that believe to the saving of souls. And that's the hopeful elect, man. They keep going. They make it. Because it's written. It's written. That's your path. So we got to put on as the elect. We got to have that mind frame that we could possibly be the elect. And what would the elect be doing in a time like this with all the prophecies popping off? We seeing our enemy lose right before our face. The black woman is losing. She's our enemy too. She losing right before our face. Right? The men of the Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, the faith is getting stronger in planet Earth. We know what's going on. The kingdom is coming in. This kingdom is done. World War III breaking out. Jacob's trouble, civil war. We got the dumbest president in the world. I mean, we got Nero back in his seat, man. Everything is set up in position. What would the ancient prophets do at a time like this when they've been revealed the secrets from the ancient world and the world to come? How would they be performing, man? This is a very, very beautiful, exciting, but extreme emergency time on planet Earth. So let's stay strong. Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai is coming. Yahweh Shai will be here soon. We will see our Lord soon, sooner than later. Giving all the praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai Bahashem Rakah HaKodash. Double honor to the elders of Great Millstone who told us this truth. A sincere shalom, labakarium, shah yasha'Allah, that's peace to the elect of the nation of Israel. Our Lord Yahweh Shai is on his way, and we will soon see our enemy Esau fall along with the rest of the heathens. Get ready. Shalom.